Nursing the tiniest of headaches. But live here on a Monday night. Hope everyone had an okay Monday. It was a long one for me, but we're good. We're here. I've got a headache, but it's fine. I should survive here for a couple hours before 2 Shibuya Scramble. I titled on Twitch, it's titled PS5 reveal predictions. I just wanted to quickly just hit really quick. Sony today announced and confirmed they just moved it like a week. Obviously didn't do it last week. They said it for various reasons, understandable, so they just pushed it a week. I just wanted to get something on video so that if I'm correct, then I look better. And that is, I think it's supposed to be like an hour-ish or so. I think it's mostly going to focus on games of the future or whatever, right? Whatever. Your mileage will vary on if that's exciting, right? To me, the potential of just seeing design-wise what the stupid box would look like, that's what like I'm actually more interested in, because games are going to come. Whether they show them to me or not, you know what I mean? I'm just curious what the thing is actually going to look like, and I could see it going either way. They not show it and they just focus on games for like an hour, or at the last moment as like a one more thing, which I think they actually will do. I think they'll do they might not say one more thing, but I think they will just be like one more thing. And then at the end of the hour or so long presentation, I think they reveal what the box looks like. Because, and my reasoning for this, if you'll remember, when they revealed the weird controller thing, they basically just put it out in an interview on Wired, I think. Or maybe it was a PlayStation blog post. No, it was a blog post. But they basically admitted in the post, they were like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they admitted it, or it came out later, that it was like, yeah, we had to ship out controllers to like devs, so before someone just takes a picture and shows it online, we'd rather show it off. And as far as I can tell, production wise, apparently like the boxes are gonna have to start getting manufactured here. I think some Chinese or Japanese like business article came out late last week or something and said that production was expected to start manufacturing on the boxes this week. And if that's the case, and they're trying to beat out just a leak, if they did the same thing they did with the controller thing and had an awkward presentation on that, I think they would want to control that and just be like, all right, here we go, we're gonna show you a few games and here's the box. So that's my prediction. I think Thursday we'll actually see the box. I think we'll see the games. Great times. And it'll give me something to think about for half a day. That's my actual prediction. I don't think we get a price. I don't think we get release date. I don't see why they would want to do that with still things needing to probably be settled. They'll probably wait a bit longer on that. And there's no reason to blow your whole load on a random Thursday. And then one other thing I heard about that is, why would they want to do that when potentially the price might be a turnoff for some people, especially given current times? Is why would you want to put like a sour note there when you can just you have an out if you show some interesting game things or announcements or whatever, and then here's what the box looks like. If that's like enough for an hour-long thing where you don't have to be like, oh, and it's coming out mid-October at $4.99. Which, obviously, this is going to happen if my prediction's right and it comes out. We don't get that info this week, and that's waited. That's actually my prediction. I think the box comes out mid to late October. unless they actually change on delaying it because of situations. And then at $4.99, I think it's $4.99 price, which I think is gonna be what people quote as like the, oh god, it's a bad price. But I think Sony and Microsoft a bit has been like prepping us for, hey, it's not gonna be $3.99. I think Microsoft might have like a cheaper version of their box or something that they've been teasing and stuff. I think that's all in the news. I've been busy, but I think especially Sony has been like, hey, get ready. They've been building it up like, hey, this thing is supposed to have a nice like solid state drive. Thing has some nice pieces inside of it. It'll probably still sound like a jet engine when you play some games, but I think they're prepping the masses for a $4.99 price tag. And anything below that, I think, would be very interesting. And I think shows that they'd be willing to take a loss at launch, which is not impossible, but would be an interesting tactic. I just don't think they're willing to do that. And even at $4.99, apparently that's like, I think some number got thrown out where it was like basically to manufacture a box, it was like $4.75, considering all pieces and stuff. And that's just pieces and everything at the, you know, and then that would obviously decrease years from here, but as pieces become more available, as happens with tech and shit. I don't know. I think $4.99 is going to be that price, and I think that's going to be mid to late October, because I think they would probably want to get it out before the holidays of like almost said Thursday of November and of December as well. Kind of just beat that out, launch it, and then you've got Black Friday where people go crazy, and then you got Christmas when people go crazy, and I think that's what they want to do. There you go, it's on video. So for the week ahead, as I said last night in the drum stream, Shibuya Scramble, hopefully Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We're gonna hit the ground hard on these streams here of this game. Not 100% sure how long this game actually is. And Wednesday, I almost for certain will be busy. So nothing happening Wednesday. Did I say Thursday? I meant Wednesday. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, Friday. I'm holding myself to it. I've said this now many times. Destroy All Humans 2 finale, hopefully, and Platinum all together in one giant morning stream Saturday morning. And then I don't know what the fuck I'm doing Sunday. I don't know what my day is going to be like Sunday, so so kind of like as of now, no comment. No comment. I just don't know what I'm doing with my own life. I hesitated to even bring this up. Sunday is my birthday. And like, I don't even know if I'm probably not going to be doing anything, just given the situation of the world. But I don't even know if Sunday's going to be a day where I'm just going to want to like sleep in all day. Just get a good old birthday nap in for 24 hours. I sure as shit don't think I'm going to be hanging out with anyone. For obvious reasons and just other reasons. Many reasons. But yeah, we'll do this for a couple hours tonight. And then we'll be on to Tuesday. Today was so long. Today just, it got to a point. So I leave work around like 5:30, and it got to about 4:30, and there was about an hour I kept looking at the clock, and I was like, I feel like I'm, you know, like you get to some point in your work day where you're just like, I'm checked out at this point. I feel like I've done a day's work. I've done what I needed to do for the day. And now there's just this weird hour that I was just staring as everything had passed by. But we're here to read. Oh yeah, we hit the new hour. Okay, exciting. A multitude of possibilities that we can do. Whose story looks interesting? You know what? Let's take it back to the beginning of the game, and we'll start top of the hour with Kano. Oh shit. Actually kind of annoying. Right in my ears. Turning it down and it's still super loud in my ears. Jesus. Kano practically dived from the car when it arrived on the scene in Maruyamacho. Please stop. The place was teeming with officers and... I'm just taking my headset off. It's still so loud. The place was teeming with officers and onlookers alike. Out of the way! Please, move aside! Kano forced his way through the throng. Sasayama was lying in a massive pool of blood. Oh yeah, Sasayama. I remember. It's ridiculous. I just have the headset set next to me and it's just... Sasayama! Oh, thank God. Thank goodness. Okay, Kano rushed to his partner's side. If Sasayama dies, I'm gonna be very upset. The knife was still embedded deep in Sasayama's belly. Let me turn this back up now just a bit. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Its handle shuddered each time he drew a labored breath. Guess I messed up. Sasayama could only manage a raspy murmur. Please, don't try to talk, Kano urged. Looks like I won't be celebrating the missus's birthday. Sasayama drew a small package from his pocket. Oh, don't have a moment here. I'm gonna be too sad. It had been neatly wrapped and fitted with a pretty little ribbon. Here. Give this to Mi-chan for me. Mi-chan. Kano shook his head. No way. You can give it to her yourself. You've never met Mi-chan, huh? She's real pretty. Probably a surprise how pretty she... I know. You've told me all about her. Kano, please. Give this to my wife for me. Starting off the stream sad. Mustering up the last of his strength, Sasayama pressed the gift into Kano's hand. Sasayama. Sasayama's hand dropped back down onto the puddle of blood. Gross. Paramedic team finally arrived at the scene. As Sasayama was loaded into the ambulance, Kano felt a surge of rage roiling inside him. The smirk of a killer! Clenching his fist so hard his nails dug into his palms. Palm. He marched over to the captive Al Carawan. Carawan. You son of a bitch! He wound up for a punch to Al Carawan's face, only to have his arm caught forcibly by the elbow. Oh no, now there's sirens outside my apartment. That is outside my apartment, right? Yeah. Art imitates life. I think I'm supposed to say. Spinning his head around, he found Stanley standing there. Let go of me, Stanley. But the American had a grip of steel and Kano's arm wouldn't budge. They allow you to assault suspects here in Japan, do they? Fucking idiot. Kano bit his lip and then lowered his shaking fist. No, of course not, he growled. Al Carowin let out a nasal chuckle. Not a nasally chuckle, but a nasal chuckle as he watched the pair. With a cold glare, Stanley strolled over to him. See, Stanley could have gotten some points here if he just punched him in the face. He leaned in close to whisper something, and all at once the blood drained from Al Carowin's face. Visibly shaken, Al Carowin said something back to Stanley. Stanley gave a slight nod, then left the captive with the police escort. The fuck? Kano went over to him. Hey, what was that all about? Apparently Al Carowin gave Hitomi some instructions. Told her to get into a blue minivan that was parked along Dogonzaka. So Stanley's hunch had been correct. But why had Al Carowin confess so quickly? How'd you get him to talk? You don't need to know that. Sure. Turning on his heel, Stanley went to report the news about the blue van to the task force. Not the alarms again. Kuze immediately directed the detectives nearest Dogonzaka to look into it, but they found no blue minivan in the area. The order then came down for all personnel to search for the vehicle. Kano thought back to another item in the Dick Diary. Oh, the Dick Diary. Dick Dictum, number 14. Use the dead as a stepping stone, but be sure to die a stepping stone yourself. In the abstract, Kano could appreciate the nobility of self-sacrifice, but when he thought of Sasayama's bloodstained figure, it wasn't so easy to keep his emotions in check. First time you've ever seen a fellow officer get hurt? Not now, Stanley. Stanley had come back over to him. We don't have time to relax. If you can't keep your anger in, then do something about it, here and now. Stanley pointed to his own jaw. Hit me, American style. Fuck yeah, America! Kano smiled wryly at the unexpected proposal. Where's the option where I could just smack him so hard? No, I'm gonna not punch the man. He wants me to punch him, and I'm not gonna give him what he wants. Let's put Kano in a guilt trip here. I'm the one who deserves to get hit. Thinking about Sasayama, Kano couldn't help but feel guilty. If I weren't such a bumbling clod, Sasayama would never have... Hey, don't blame yourself, Stanley said. You guys have been doing better than I expected. More sarcasm, huh? Stanley's mouth curled up sheepishly, and he held his hands wide. Kuze's voice suddenly cut in over the wireless. Beep boop beep boop boop. We've located the blue minivan. It's in Jinin 1 Combe on Koindori. Struggled there a bit. Hitomi might be there, and maybe the kidnapper's ringleader would turn up too. On pure reflex, Kano broke into a run. Stanley followed close behind. They sped through the back streets, making their way toward Koindori. Kano was a pretty fast runner, but Stanley kept up with him without apparent difficulty. Were you in the army or something? No, the Marines. Marines. United States Marine Corps. A rapid deployment force specializing in amphibious landing operations. An independent branch of the armed forces along with the Army, Navy, and Air Force. The Marines' motto is Semper Fidele. I don't know how to read Latin. Latin for always faithful. Wasn't much further to Koindori. Kano, if you find that van, don't get too close, Stanley warned. Could be a trap. These people will do anything to carry out their goals. Anything, huh? Oh, damn, he's still running with his, like, jacket, like, buttoned. Kano could sense the truth of Stanley's words. He reminded himself that his life could depend on remembering them. He raised his eyes. They were coming up on Ko and Dory. And then a bomb went off, apparently. Suddenly, a boom as loud as cannon fire shook the area. Something's wrong, Kano thought. That's no ordinary city noise. Uh-oh. A column of black smoke rose up from between two nearby buildings. Passerby stopped and stared, gasping in alarm. Oh shit, video! Like I said, this must have been fun to make. Then Kano saw flames. This hadn't been an accident. Someone had set off an explosion. Okay, those noises are not good. The Shibuya precinct wasn't too far from here. Kano recalled the attempted bioterrorism attack on Kusumigaseki. 2 years ago, Tokyo Metropolitan Public, I'm turning it down again, Public Safety Commission obtained intel of imminent bioterrorist attack within the city. Immediately afterward, an unoccupied minivan exploded outside the Metropolitan Police Department, and a device for dispersing a bacterial contagion was discovered at the subway platform at Kasumigaseki Station. Having determined that the city bureaucracy was the target, the Japanese government contacted the terrorist organization responsible in secret, making a deal to put an end to the threat. I really don't like how the sounds are just continuing. That incident had begun with a van exploding outside the Tokyo MPD station. Already a large crowd of onlookers was gathering. Shouts rose up as they took in the scene. What's going on? What happened? The car's on fire! Kano called into HQ, then quickly slipped her out to the back of the burning vehicle. It was a minivan. Peering at the flaming chassis, you could see that there was someone inside. Oh no, could that be Hitomi? Once they had their hands on the antiviral, criminals would have no further use for Hitomi Asawa. Already the body had been charred to ash. At this point, it was hardly recognizable as human anymore. What a terrible way to get a keep out. So far, these past, like, 20 minutes have been just terrible sounds. In-game and my own, speaking. Alright, so I already hit with a keep out. Van and people apparently on fire. Let's go. Let's go with Asawa. We've usually been keeping Asawa to the end. Now, if we'll remember, Asawa learned Tanaka, I believe is his name. Not good. Not someone to trust, apparently. Okay, I've never truly trusted anyone, not on a fundamental level. Human beings are a type of organism that I can't get a true handle on, though. Nope. A true handle on through mere surface interactions. And the very fact that I've never trusted anyone else means that inevitably, no one else has ever trusted me. In the end, maybe the root of all my problems can be traced back to my heart. Asawa's chapters always, like, open up, just bleak. As he waited for Minorikawa to contact him, Asawa thought about his current crisis. Assuming Tanaka was behind the kidnapping, then he must have accomplices. And these criminals had mistakenly abducted Maria in their attempt to get at the antiviral drug that was in Hitomi's blood. Maria and Hitomi were fraternal twins, They looked similar enough to be mistaken for identical twins. Still, Tanaka would never confuse the two. The mix-up must have been made by some criminal who didn't know Maria or Hitomi personally. Insisting that Hitomi bring the ransom to the train station was obviously their solution. It had set her up for a second abduction. But piecing together this much of the kidnapper's plan only raised a different question. Why had Tanaka shown him those emails from Hitomi? Wouldn't the criminals want to keep information like that hidden? The more Asawa thought about things, the less they made sense. Just who are my true allies? And who are my foes? It's a good question. Mr. Asawa, a delivery has arrived for you. It was Kajiwara at the study door. Come in. It's gonna be a case where Kajiwara is like needed to help Asawa here. Like this whole time, it's at the start. Asawa was like, my best friend Tanaka, and this antagonist Kajiwara, I hate him, and he's obnoxious because he kind of is and weird. And then I think what's gonna end up happening is we're starting to see that flip where it's like, Asawa gets that like, Kajiwara, while weird, is gonna have to be helpful, and we gotta team up and not be antagonistic to each other. And it was Tanaka who sucks, I think, is what the narrative thing is going on here, clearly. Alright, Kajiwara stepped into the room and handed Asawa a letter-sized envelope. Asawa checked the label. Kaming, the official Aya Kamiki fan club membership application enclosed. Requires a 1,000 yen initiation fee and yearly dues of 3,000 yen. Membership grants several perks, including the opportunity to reserve concert tickets in advance of the general public. Asawa is fond of the members-only website content, which includes Aya Kamiki's blog and exclusive videos. Just a man who loves his pop stars. I can dig it. Right. He had requested the application that day he'd gotten back from overseas. Would you mind opening that? Kajiwara asked apologetically. What for? I'd just like to check the contents of any packages you received today, sir. It's possible the kidnapper may try to make contact you. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. It's possible. I'll read it how it's listed there. It's possible the kidnapper may try to make contact you by mail. It either needs to say may try to make contact with you by mail, or take out you, may try to make contact by mail. Yeah, whatever. Okay, who am I to judge? I can barely speak sometimes as well. Asawa opened the envelope. Inside he found the expected application, along with several postcards featuring pictures of the singer. Kajiwara peered pointedly at the postcard images. Oh, she's pretty! You must really like her, the detective said. And just what sort of music do you listen to then? Asawa asked, staring at one of the postcards. It was a striking photo that showed off Kamiki's expressive eyes. Look at those expressive eyes! Let me think. Mostly classical, I suppose? Fucking of course you would listen to classical. Asawa raised a quizzical eyebrow. You know, Kajiwara continued, like Mozart and Chopin and the like. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, 1756-1791. Austrian-born music prodigy and classical composer. Famous works include The Marriage of Figaro, The Magic Flute, and Symphony No. 41, known as the Jupiter Symphony. And Frédéric Francois Chopin, 1810-1849. Good old 39 years. Composer and pianist of the early Romantic era, famed as a national musician of Poland, left behind numerous solo piano works. Famous works include his Nocturne, Op. 9, No. 2, and his piano sonata, No. 2. So that's definitely how you say that. I remember back in the day, the college days. 1 year, maybe junior year. My junior year, I took like a music. I'd get like to get a credit in some shitty requirement thing, and so I ended up taking basically what amounted to like, I don't know if this was exactly what it's called, but it was like a music appreciation class. What a fucking joke. But it was me and my then girlfriend at the time, and we were just in there together, and that made it better having like someone that I knew there and just sitting in the desks, and it was just like an hour and a half when, you know, twice a week I think, and we barely learned anything. And sometimes he would put on videos about composers and shit, and then he would fall asleep in the front of the class. Oh, it was like a lecture hall type thing, and he would put on a video, and this is why I'm remembering it, because I remember things like, the only things I really remember at that class, when it wasn't like canceled sometimes, I would say like 10% of classes end up getting canceled throughout the semester. But I remember him, like, only us really getting through like composers like Mozart and Chopin, which is weird because I don't think it was supposed to be focused on like that era. But then, I mean, saying that class had any focus whatsoever is an overstatement, because it had no focus whatsoever. But yeah, me and her, we would just sit and listen to this guy ramble on about music. I don't think he knew much about music, though. Now that I think about it, I think the class was probably just called music appreciation. And it was like, oh, you're in this class because you need this one weird credit. And everyone in the class is like, yep. Because no way in hell would I want to be taking this class if it wasn't a requirement. Yeah, if I was having to go to that class by myself, I probably would just not go much at all and try to just see if I can fudge grades. But having someone there made it decent. Back to the game. Weird tangent. He hummed a few bars. Whatever. Can't say I've ever heard them. Are you serious? Kajiwara looked shocked. No, he doesn't know classic music. He only knows Kamiki over here, the pop sensation. I'm familiar with the names, of course. I just never had much of an interest in music. Oh, that's such a shame. Would you care to listen to a piece now? Yeah, let's be friendly. Like I said, this is the turning point. We gotta get on Kajiwara's side. He's gonna be pivotal, I think, to this whole mystery. I suppose I may as well. Now that he brought it up, Asal was curious to know what sort of music Kajiwara enjoyed. The detective pulled a digital music player out of his pocket. Ah, yes, a digital music player. Here you go. Asala slipped the attached earbuds into his ears. I need a visual of this, please. Yep, thank you. He heard a flow of quiet strings that was soon joined by bold, dramatic horns. Bold, dramatic horns. As the piece continued, it grew more profound and complex, and Asawa could feel his spirit calming. Yes, calming. People dying, but it's calm. He took a deep breath, then expelled it through his nostrils. It felt as if the toxic gloom that had filled him was departing with the air. Before he knew it, nearly 10 minutes had passed. Kajiwara just behind him, happy. What do you think? It's quite nice. The theme of this piece is... Kajiwara paused for a moment and thought. Well, it's about how erudition can be boorishness. Accumulated knowledge, the term often connotes... You don't see that word a lot. Connotes an advanced and or esoteric understanding. Displaying a moderate amount can impress others, but pompously flaunting it is bound to put them off. Thank you. If I hadn't met you, I'd never have discovered this piece. He spoke the words unthinkingly, with unaccustomed frankness. Oh, they're bonding. Was this the power of music, then? I'm very happy to hear that, sir. Zoom in of Kamiki. Osawa gazed at one of the postcards as he let himself be drawn back into the music. Aya was scooping up handfuls of mystical blue sand. The grains dripped down from her fingertips. I feel like I could be in this photo here. Oh no, he's getting weird. Osawa muttered. Like I've lived my life letting so many things slip through my fingers. Strum that guitar, Kajiwara thought for a moment before responding. I think anyone who's worked hard to accomplish something and focused for a long time on that one thing is susceptible to those kinds of feelings. Accomplishing something means getting results. That's not where my problem is. Asawa removed the headphones and gave back the music player. You told me not to hide things from you, right? Kajiwara nodded silently. Then allow me to speak frankly. Leaning back heavily in his chair, Asawa took another deep, slow breath. I'm anxious. Oh, me and Asawa, man. 2 peas in a pod. So anxious that it's almost crushing me. Oh. I feel you. I feel you, Asawa. I'm with you. Given the circumstances, sir, that's completely understand. No. Asawa spoke up before Kajiwara could finish. It's not like that. It's not that at all. He shook his head vigorously. If the worst should happen to my daughter, how am I going to feel, I wonder? I'm not a man with a wide range of emotions. I barely have one emotion. I'm half an emotion. My heart is always cold somehow. And the truth is, I've wanted it to be that way. Which is why, if I do lose my daughter, my heart might remain unmoved. I may not even be able to feel a father's sorrow. Jesus, that's what I am anxious about. He felt his emotions twist inside him in a way that was utterly confusing. For perhaps the first time in his life, he realized how fickle a thing the human heart could be. And then, it grew 2 sizes too large. Whoop. It's alright, sir. Kajiwara flashed him a carefree smile. What's alright? People who really have cold hearts don't worry about that sort of thing. The detective held out his music player again. Good guy Kajiwara. It's a little weird, a little awkward, but he's a good guy. Here, I'd like you to have this. Please, give it another listen if you like. I think it might help you calm your nerves. Asawa took the offered device. He had dared to open up to Kajiwara, just a little, and to his own surprise, he felt grateful for it. And how about one of these as well? Oh, fucking pocket banana. The detective produced a banana from his pocket. Already you can see Asawa being like, no, Kajiwara, I don't want a random ass banana. Please, put that back. Please. For the love of God. I'm fine, thanks. Are you sure? I just gotta take the fucking banana. We're having a friendship moment, like bonding moment here. Who am I? Who would I be to not take the friendship banana at the moment like this? No. Alright, I guess I'll take it. Asawa spoke irritably. Then his expression softened a little. Plus, who knows, that banana could come in handy sometime. You know, you've been getting on my nerves all day. Really? And here I thought I'd been doing what I could do to soothe your spirits, Mr. Asawa. It's actually been a real long time since I've yelled at anyone quite so much. As the words left his lips, Asawa found himself thinking back to one particular rainy day. Flashback time! Oh, that's the sound of rain. Ooh. Ooh. Is it young Asawa? Slightly younger Asawa? Without glasses? To denote that he's not as old? Is that how it works? Maria had been in 5th grade at the time. Okay, so several years back. I don't know how old Maria is supposed to be current time in the game. But probably some level of adult. Young adult, I don't know. Asala was standing in his daughter's room. In his hand, he held the letter she'd left behind. He happened to glance out the window and saw Maria walking along, soaked from head to toe. That was weird. In an instant, Asala was consumed with rage. Oh, he's gonna yell. Maria had left a note. It read, "Dad, you only pay attention to Hitomi. You're too busy with work to play with me. So I'm running away from home." Struck by an impulse he didn't quite understand, he ran from the room, heading for the front door. Maria had just gotten back inside. Asala met her silently in the entryway. Wet strands of hair clung to the girl's forehead as she looked up at her father with a bitter glare. "You don't care what happens to me, do you?" Whoa. Excuse me? Oh no. Oh no. No, don't like. Impulsively, he slapped her face. Ugh. Maria's cheek turned red and tears welled up in her eyes. That's like a trope thing though, right? Like when, I mean, maybe not exactly fitting this situation, but when you want someone to get like a grip, like if they're blubbering or they're not listening to reasoning, you little 1-2. I mean, again, I don't think this exactly fits this situation, but, and I'm gonna be completely honest, for some reason when I was thinking about that trope, my mind flashed to old-ass Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime dubs. Fucking Joey and, what's his face? Tristan! And there's like a particular, there's a few moments where I think they just, I think in particular I'm thinking about that moment because they like censored it out in the dubs on purpose, so my mind's going to weird places tonight. Random classes at Texas State. Thinking about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dubs. Pocket bananas. Maria's cheek turned red and tears welled up in her eyes. Asala's anger transformed abruptly into guilt. He gazed down at the palm of his hand and saw a tiny spot of blood. Oh no. He was shocked by the recognition of what he'd just done. And then, he was afraid. He just slapped a little girl. Afraid that his daughter could bring such raw emotion out of him and make him do something so thoughtless. Save. What a terrible flashback. Is something wrong, Mr. Asala? Kajiwara was leaning in, looking concerned. Asala came back into the moment with a start and realized he had buried his face in his hands. No, he muttered, looking up. Just getting angry, yelling at people. I'm not good with that sort of thing. I don't like it. He picked up the music player and fidgeted with the earbuds as he spoke. Well, getting angry and yelling at people, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's just human. It's human to do those kinds of things? What does it mean to be human? I often said that he was cold and mechanical. It's a lovely thing to say to your husband. Just tell him he's cold and mechanical. That'll make him feel better. It's sad because I feel like someone who might not know me very well could also probably easily describe me as like cold and mechanical. Especially on like a first meeting type situation. I'd be all reserved and there would be like, some kind of weird exit interview type situation. So what'd you think of that Austin guy? He's cold and mechanical. Her sarcasm only underlined a fact he'd always lived with, that he didn't know how to conduct himself like a human being. Oh, this is too real on a Monday night. If you get angry, you show it, Kajiwara said. If you get sad, you show it. It's human nature to let other people know how you're feeling after all. But what if doing that hurts the other person? It's a good point. That's when you apologize, sir. It occurred to Asala that he'd never tried to tell anyone how he felt before. He never felt the need to. And yet, right now, he suddenly felt that if his daughters were to appear before him, he might blurt out everything he'd ever left unsaid. It was a terrifying thought. We are getting real on a Monday night. Darling? Fucking I here. I don't want to hear from her. I opened the door and stepped into the room. The detectives are asking for you. It seems there's been a development. We'll be right there. Asala and Kajiwara hurried out of the room. Yep, that's a loving couple right there. Before the news was shared with the Asawas, the members of the investigation team quietly briefed Detective Kajiwara. Asala and I sat on the sofa on the far side of the room, watching. They could see Kajiwara go pale. He wiped the sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief several times. Bad news, Asala thought. Mr. Asala, ma'am. Kajiwara shuffled his way over to them at last. We've just gotten word from headquarters. He hesitated ominously. Oh, it's gonna be sad. We're zooming in on his butt, kinda. How far into his backside will we go if I just sit on this screen? Are we gonna just gonna... Okay, Asala and I are leaving frame. I'm just gonna let it go. Alright. Staring into the abyss, into the black, into the void. Oh, stop. Alright, yep, perfect frame. Cool. Asala braced himself. Please, let's hear it. First, about your daughter Hitomi. Why did it go so far in? This is terrible. This is terrible framing. It could have kept the two faces on the side. First, about your daughter Hitomi. Kajiwara's expression was grim. The body of a young man named Achiendo was discovered near Shibuya Station. The name meant nothing to Asala. In a building not too far from the scene, the detective swallowed. Your daughter Hitomi was found dead. Wait, is the game trying to tell me, is this the burning situation we saw with Kano's thing? Is the game trying to put me in the spin cycle here and try to convince me that the people in the fire there was Achi and Hitomi? I don't believe you. I don't believe you, game. That's what you're trying to spin. The world began to shake. Asala was staggered, reeling with sudden, nauseating vertigo. No, it's not possible. After that, your daughter Maria, the words blurred together. He could no longer comprehend what he was hearing. Everything was wobbling, shuddering, distorting even. Hitomi was dead? Hitomi. Jeez, the distortion on that video was giving me vertigo. At those words, Asala's whole world went dark, as if someone had just yanked the curtains closed. Bad ending, what? I didn't even get a chance to do anything. Learning of Hitomi's death plunged Asala into a pit of despair. This was the dark end of a chain of events that began with a simple, small decision. Someone else merely decided to abide by a little promise. Because of that, not only did Achi and Hitomi meet with disaster, But Asawa lost his mind as well. Keeping a promise is a noble thing for sure, but right now saving Achi, Hitomi, and Asawa is more important. Okay, so I've got to break a promise. I assume some kind of promise Achi made earlier in the game, and I've at some point I have to go into Achi's story and make sure that I, even though morally probably would want to keep a promise, I've got to break it. So now we've got Achi, we've got Maria, and good old Minorikawa. Probably my favorite character. I think Minorikawa is my favorite character of everyone in this game. Sorry, I'm over here fucking around with a setting here really quick. Let me get back into here. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So who am I feeling at this moment? I think I gotta go with Achi. If my hunch is correct, and that it's Achi who needs to break the littlest of promise so that they don't die in some kind of explosion, then I'll do it. Kanan led them into a narrow back alley. The moment she stopped, Tomi spoke up. Back alley. Members of SOS don't come by here very much. Word has it, in this place around 10 years ago, one man beat the crap out of 7 street toughs in the blink of an eye, all by himself. Over time, people have offered various theories, that he was an assassin, that he was some foreign soldier, even that he might have been a ghost, a joust. And to this day, the urban legend lives on. The moment she stopped, Tomi spoke up. Why was my sister kidnapped? Before I answer that, there's something I need to tell you, Kanan said. Her tone was cold and sharp. I've come to Japan because I'm on a mission. I'm not at liberty to discuss all the details. They're just like, okay. Alright, Hitomi gave a slight nod. To answer your question, Maria was kidnapped by mistake. What? Hitomi gasped. But why? Because this kidnapper isn't after Maria. They're after you. Who's after me? The mastermind behind this whole thing, Kanan said. Her tone was matter-of-fact. Whoa, hold on, Achi interrupted. What do they want Hitomi for? That, I cannot say. Well then, who is this person? I can't tell you that either. You see, their sex, nationality, age, appearance, just about everything about them is shrouded in mystery. So there's honestly not much I can tell you. Achi and Hitomi stood dumbfounded. What gives? Achi said. So you're saying all you know is that this person has some lame name like Mastermind? Hitomi turned to whisper in his ear. Mastermind isn't actually their name. Fucking Achi, dude. Originally used solely to refer to someone as remarkable intellect, term first took on its criminal connotations in the 19th century. I'm here, Kanan spat, because I'm looking for revenge. Revenge? Hitomi asked. What for? This person also killed my friend. Her friend. Kanan's inscrutable eyes flashed with a threatening gleam. The Kanan person, so mysterious. Also looks like she's 16, but whatever. She can kick ass, apparently, so. Earlier, you said that it was your fault my sister got kidnapped, Hitomi said. Kanan cast her eyes down. 4 days ago, I managed to learn this criminal's plan. So I got in touch with Maria, and told her that you were going to be attacked at that party. So that's why she told me not to go. Tomi's voice trembled as she spoke. I gave Maria a small GPS tracker to give to you, but I guess you never got it. Oh, we got video here. Okay, global positioning system, network of man-made satellites and ground-based control stations for providing geolocation data. Alternatively, a device that makes use of said system. Modern cell phones and vehicle navigation systems use the GPS. Alright, give me this video here. Beep boop boop, beep boop boop, beep boop boop. Triangulating position. Great. Hitomi shook her head. I see. She must still have it then. Wait, so then my sister... The color drained from Hitomi's face as she understood. Yes, Kaden replied. Maria acted as a decoy and let herself get kidnapped in your stead. Hitomi swayed on her feet, shocked to the verge of fainting. Achi hurriedly reached out and caught her in his arms. But wait, he said to Kaden as he held Hitomi up. I don't get that either. Why didn't either of them go? Then nobody would have been kidnapped, right? I mean, why'd her sister need to go and act as a decoy? Kaden let out a tiny sigh. If she hadn't gone to the party, the kidnappers would have just found some other opportunity to come after her. Yeah, I was just about to say, it's like, alright, they're not just gonna give up. If they're willing to kidnap to get this antibody blood, apparently, it's not like they're just gonna be like, oh, they didn't show up to this party. Alright, let's give up the ghost. No, they just try some other time. Ah, okay, Achi nodded. That sort of makes sense. I'm betting that Maria's plan was to use the GPS to lead me to these guys' hideout. She wanted to keep her sister safe, and also figured she could help me with my mission. It's a sort of scheme she'd think of. So then can't you use the GPS to locate Hitomi's sister? Achi asked. Kaden shook her head. The GPS hasn't been powered on since she was kidnapped. It's possible the kidnappers took it from her. Wait, what? So after all that, even you can't find Maria? Achi slumped his shoulders in disappointment. I didn't say that. What do you mean? I got some intel from those syndicate members we met earlier. Apparently sometime this morning they put Maria into a blue minivan, and since then they've been moving her all around Shibuya. Achi and Hitomi exchanged glances at the mention of the blue minivan. Unfortunately, Kaden continued, his operatives don't exactly know what the current situation was like exactly. Let me read that again. Unfortunately, Kaden continued, those operatives didn't know what the current situation was exactly. Okay, so we're back to the blue van then. Achi hurriedly explained what they'd been through so far. He mentioned how they'd first seen the blue van where the kidnappers had told Hitomi to find it. He also described how first the man with the cane and then a host of others had come after them. He got a little sidetracked here and there, but Kaden quietly listened to the end. I see, she muttered. So, then, what do you think? Achi asked. Seems like we messed up their scheme a little, huh? Whatever the case, this man with the cane concerns me, Kaden said. I doubt he's working with the others. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's it. Some guy who isn't involved butts in and throws off their whole plan. Kaden nodded in agreement. Because you and that man with the cane showed up, she said, they couldn't leave the minivan where it was. They took a sensible precaution. But then, if you think about it, isn't this an opportunity for us to turn the tables on Mr. Mastermind? Kaden flashed him a faint, speculative smile. I wonder about that. Oh, come on, Achi grumbled. You're such a buzzkill. See, in this photo, she looks like she's 13. Posing as a young adult woman. Any well-made plan has a good solid outline, which means that even after it has come to fruition, it's easy to trace things back to the planner. Is that how this works? By contrast, if you achieve your goals using accidental means, the outline becomes blurred, and it makes it harder for anyone outside looking in to grasp what the actual plan is. Achi swallowed hard as he took in the gravity of the situation. Well, but I mean, like, if there's an accident, people are gonna be, for sure, panic. Plan or not. The corners of Kaden's lips curled up. Typically, I suppose, she said. But the people who are after Hitomi, not only have they put together a perfect plan, they purposely left certain tiny holes in it. And so we can't even figure out who they are. The outline of the plan is always too blurry. Achi had no response to that. It was like he was hearing about some completely different world beyond the one he knew. Again, not the brightest star in the sky. If what Kanan had said was true, he'd been dealing with opponents that were on a level way above him, his own. The criminals playing chess, Achi over here playing checkers with some incorrect house rules. In any event, since these people are after you, it'd be best if you didn't wander around town anymore, Kanan told him. By now, Hitomi had recovered. She stood up straight and shook her head. No, I'm going to find that blue minivan. My sister is in danger because of me. I can't abandon her just to save myself. Yeah, that's right. Achi patted Hitomi on the back. Just gives her a good old pat on the back. If that's what you're gonna do, then I don't care who we're up against. I'm with you in this until the end. Heck, it's too late for me to back out now. That ship has already failed. Oh, he said it wrong. Hitomi giggled despite herself. It's already sailed, Achi. Yeah! Kanan let out another little sigh. Kanan's like, I'm working with idiots. I'm working with an actual idiot. Alright, just make sure you're extra careful, she said. You can't count on getting bailed out of trouble like you have before. I understand, Hitomi said. Her eyes showed no trace of doubt or fear. Kanan gave her a slight nod and quickly disappeared down the alleyway. Right, then, Achi said. When I get back to looking for that minivan? Then he stopped, remembering their previous efforts. If they just heedlessly wandered around town, they'd probably end up in the same trouble they'd encountered before. They'd get chased by the man with the cane, or by the kidnappers, and their search would be interrupted yet again. What should they do then? There had to be a better way. There just had to be a better way. Achi happened to glance upward and caught sight of a surveillance camera installed on one of the streetlights. That's it! God, I can't believe I didn't think of it before. Tommy peered at him, startled by his sudden shouting. We just need to use my old man's surveillance cameras and this will be a breeze. Achi took Hitomi by the hand and started running. His destination? Security camera monitoring room in Dogenzaka. Achi didn't slow his pace until they were nearing their destination. Then he turned to look back at Hitomi. He was about to rip her arm off. He was about to ask if she was doing alright when someone close at hand called out to him. Hey, mind if I ask you something? Have you ever heard of SOS? Fucking Minorikawa. Achi stopped in his tracks as a stranger stepped in front of him. Best character. The guy looked too old to be picking a fight with SOS. Achi regarded him with suspicion. Yeah? Why do you ask? Do you happen to be a member yourself? Hey, it's Aya Kamiki there. To the right. Look at that. Look at that. Is Aya Kamiki a real person? Maybe, probably. Time to do a quick Google search. I'm just partly afraid of seeing like some kind of... Yeah, it's a real person. Singer, actress, model or something. Excuse me. I mean, I'm not surprised. I just didn't think about it. I don't know why this game would just... No, I mean, I understand why they would just make up a random name, but... Also makes 100% sense that it's just a real person. Do you happen to be a member yourself? No, not anymore. The man's eyes flashed with a gleam of recognition. Did this guy know who he was? With a broad grin, the stranger took a step closer. Achi's heart sank. He couldn't afford to get caught up in a new hassle right now. Tomy flashed him a worried look. Let's go. Achi and Tomy dodged past the man and hurried onward. Fuck you, Minorikawa. Even if the guy was harmless, they needed to be on their guard. There was no telling just how many thugs and assassins were looking for Tomy. Rather than head directly for the surveillance building, Achi decided he better make sure the stranger wasn't up to something. Tomy followed as he slipped quickly into a back alley. There was no indication that the man was following them. What was that guy's deal? Tomy asked. No idea, but he sure seemed kind of fishy. Doesn't look like he's coming after us, though. They took a quick detour through another seedy back alley. Then, as they were starting to head toward their original destination, Achi felt a sudden searing pain in his back. Whoa! You fucking kidding me? Glancing over his shoulder, he discovered that one of the foreign syndicate members had crept up and struck him from behind. Cheap shot. Oh no, I've been stabbed! I say that too when I get stabbed. Ah! Tomy screamed. Another man had suddenly appeared, grabbing her by the arms. There's his hand. Hey, Tomy. Achi tried to reach out to her, but his arm was leaden. His body refused to obey his commands. This is a bad end, isn't it? That's a knife, yep. As the attacker wrenched the knife from his back, Achi felt the blood gushing out of his wound. The two men started to drag Tomy away. Damn it. Dead. He tried to pursue them, but his legs faltered and couldn't find their footing. He was losing blood so fast he was starting to fade from consciousness. Not into consciousness. Achi could only watch impotently as Tomy was dragged further and further away. It's a bad ending. Bad end. Bad. Number 43, stabbed by kidnapper. Well, Achi got stabbed, caught in a surprise attack by one of the kidnappers. He could only watch helplessly as Tomy was taken away. If that weird guy hadn't tried to talk to him, Achi would never have taken the risk of wandering through the alleys. Yeah, it's fucking Minorikawa's fault. But how could you keep that guy from wanting to interview Achi? I would assume going into Minorikawa's story and not trying to interview him. Simple as that. I guess that means I've got to do Minorikawa now. It's Maria who gets to be put last. Alright, Minorikawa. Don't disappoint. Oh, the intense music. The running music. Huh. Wait a second. I feel like there's something I've forgotten. There's something I'm forgetting. I just made up the ending of the sentence there for some reason. Gah! Minorikawa stopped and let out a cry of frustration. In the middle of the road, wonderful. Daisuke Endo had asked him for a favor, after their interview was done. He promised to tell the Wandering Angels that the dry ice machine they'd purchased was defective. Oh yeah. I remember this. Episode 5. At last, the climax of the play drew near. There was a whole string of troubles, but the cast soldiered on, and it looked like things were going to end all right. Then, backstage, Bando noticed that the dry ice machine was acting strangely. Even after it had been turned off, the machine continued to churn out more dry ice. The producer, Tsukozawa, demanded that the defective device be returned immediately, and so Suzuka, Bando, and Amo loaded it into their vehicle and left the theater. Continued in episode 6. It's a very interesting way of telling like a parallel narrative of like this very side Wandering Angels theater troupe, where it from like these initial looks, like it looks as though they're just very unrelated to the main plot of the story. And that may end up being the case throughout this whole thing. But it would be very fascinating and interesting if somehow the antics of this theater troupe somehow plays a major part into like this whole big story. Like somehow these little mini episode reading things somehow like mix into the actual story. Just a thought. Well, damn, that had completely slipped his mind. If you recalled correctly, the issue was that once the machine started making dry ice, it wouldn't stop. If he ran back to the theater now, he'd lose about 10 minutes. Norikawa checked his wristwatch. The loan people would be coming by the editing office before too long. He needed to prove to them that next month's issue of 4-Star General Gospel was well underway, or else they'd refuse to wait any longer for repayment. And to do that, he needed to fill a minimum of 6 of the 12 remaining blank pages. He couldn't afford to waste even a single second. This was an awkward position to be in. He needed to keep his promise to Endo, but he also needed to spend his time wisely. Bah! Guess I don't have a choice. Wait. This is the promise. The promise the game wants me to break. I've figured it out. Sorry. Breaking the promise. There's nothing he could do about having forgotten. He hurried on to the cafe. Sorry, Endo. Sorry, Orai. You're just gonna have to let this one slide. I've got Toyama's life on the line here. I should have picked the other option just to see what the bad ending would be. Oh well. No big deal. He opened the door to the cafe with the practice of a regular. Welcome. The waitress only got that far before her face fell. You again? Hey, hurry up and get me a seat. She grinned wickedly. I'm terribly sorry, sir, but we're all full at the moment. He looked around. All the seats were indeed filled. As you can see, sir. Really now? The waitress's grin widened with triumph. Yes, sir. Fine. I'll just write here. Let me get some power. Perfect. Jamming his power cable into a nearby outlet, Norikawa plunked himself right down on the floor and booted up his laptop. The waitress watched in dismay, then turned to stare vacantly up at the ceiling. Just do whatever you want, she muttered vaguely. You know, a person can only get away with being obnoxious for so long. Sooner or later, someone's likely to call the police. Norikawa looked up from his work, startled to see the burning hammer salesman standing over him. You're Mr. Yanagashita. Thank you so much for stopping by earlier. Are you going to write your article here? Yanagashita eyed Norikawa's computer. Ooh, that's the latest model, isn't it? Look, I got no time to talk right now. Norikawa opened the file with his half-written copy. Ooh, what's this? Chaos at bogus weight loss drink sales demo? Yanagashita read the copy aloud. The organizer, Junichi Yanagashita, didn't merely have a whiff of deceit about him. His breath also stunk. Uh-oh, he's gonna cry. Sound good? Norikawa asked. I wanted to make sure I gave an accurate impression. Oh, I love what you've done with it. This is a great copy. Fantastic. Yanagashita turned to look at him with a manic grin. Yeah, isn't it? In a flash, Yanagashita's face went from grinning to livid. Uh-oh. Like hell it is! You think I'm gonna just let you write something like that? Good. Snatching up the computer, Yanagashita bolted out of the cafe. Hey, get back here! Norikawa leapt to his feet and rushed off in pursuit. Nice. As he sprinted madly along, Yanagashita turned down a narrow alley. Norikawa stayed close behind, desperate not to lose sight of him. His quarry began to weave his way through the back alleys of Shibuya. This guy clearly knew his way around town. By Miyashita Park, they zipped up onto a pedestrian bridge. Just where the heck was this idiot going? Halfway across the overpass, Yanagashita suddenly stopped. He's gonna hold it over the bridge, isn't he? Confused, Minorikawa stopped as well. "Give that back," he called. The next moment, Yanagashita flashed a mocking grin and dangled the laptop over the railing. Uh-oh. Minorikawa lunged toward him, but it was already too late. Damn! The laptop left Yanagashita's hand and went spinning down through the air. Then, as the two men struggled, Yanagashita himself toppled over the railing! Without hesitating, Minorikawa jumped down as well. Oh my goodness. Whoa! Ah! Dead. Minorikawa landed hard. As he struggled to regain his breath, he looked around and saw Yanagashita beside him. Incredibly, the laptop was safe in the charlatan's grasp. Apparently, he'd somehow managed to catch it in midair. Before Minorikawa could be too relieved, however, Yanagashita got to his feet and took off running again. "Get back here, you little weasel!" "I don't think so." This Yanagashita guy was infuriating. That, and he was really fast. Minorikawa considered himself a decent runner, but he couldn't manage to gain on Yanagashita. If running away was a competitive sport, the guy would be a world-class superstar. As he ran along, a peculiar thought occurred to him. Hold on a minute. If he hates my copy that much, shouldn't he have wanted my computer to break? Why'd he go out of his way to catch it like that? It made no sense at all. "Hey!" Minorikawa shouted between gasping breaths. "What are you planning to do with my laptop?" Yanagashita glanced back at him. Probably pawned it off. "Gonna sell it." "Yep. Sorry about this." "What?" Minorikawa was taken aback. "Consider it compensation for defamation of character." Bastard. In the civil sense, the act of unlawfully damaging another person's character or reputation in the public eye. In the criminal sense, the act of disseminating damaging facts about an individual to an unspecified large number of people. Come on, get real. Can't be defamation if the article hasn't run yet. Then consider an advance on the compensation. This was so nonsensical it made Minorikawa's head hurt. But now at least he knew why Yanagashita had dived after the computer. The thief continued to weave his way through the side streets. His speed didn't diminish in the slightest. Damn it, this guy has too much experience running away. Minorikawa's stamina began to fade, and finally lost sight of his quarry. But that didn't mean he was ready to give up the search. There was articles on that computer that were right on the verge of completion. Whatever it took, he had to get it back. Yanagashita had said he was going to sell it. Yanagashita had said he was going to sell it. Where could he be headed then? Sales demo venue, no. B or C? Knick-knack shop? Endo Electronics? Go knick-knack. Knickety-knacks. Probably just head to a knick-knack shop. Minorikawa recalled seeing one near the Burning Hammer demo site. Yeah, back when this happened. I also recalled seeing a poster outside the place that read, "We buy computers at top prices." Yeah. Damn. The guy led him on a wild goose chase. That shop was surely where he was going to sell the laptop. Gulping a deep breath, he headed in that direction. There you are, Yanagashita. Minorikawa burst into the shop on Center Guy, an accusing finger pointing squarely at the thief. Listen, there's no way I'm buying a computer that doesn't have a power cable. Details. All you sell here is junk anyway. Yanagashita and shopkeeper had gotten into an argument. Minorikawa hunk outside my window. Minorikawa recognized the shopkeeper. This guy had run into on the roadside earlier. That computer belongs to me, Minorikawa shouted as he marched up to them. Give it back. Yanagashita clutched the laptop to his chest. Nuh-uh, I need the money. Knock it off, you're acting like a child. Minorikawa tried to slap him out of his tantrum, but Yanagashita ducked to avoid the blow. And then, bizarrely, Yanagashita froze. A fierce gleam came to his eyes. He broke into an incomprehensible stammer. That's it! Yanagashita snatched up a flyer that his gaze had fixed on. Iron stomach, huh? This right here is my little bluebird of happiness, he cried. You know what? You can have this. Yanagashita shoved the laptop into Minorikawa's arms. Ha ha ha! And welcome to it, you idiot. I don't need no worthless computer. You're the idiot, Buster. Norikawa smacked Yanagashita right across the face. Ouch! Hitting him felt good. He decided to do it again. Norikawa shoved Yanagashita toward the shopkeeper. Hand this guy over to the police, he said. Eat? No, not the police, Yanagashita pleaded. Can it, you thief. You tried to rip me off, and you have no idea how much is riding on my work. You deserve 10,000 deaths. 10,000 deaths. Honestly, you'd think that dying once would be sufficient. No. 10,000? Isn't that taking things just a little too far? I'm sorry already, I give up. Finally, the guy was ready to surrender. Norikawa let his guard down for just a moment. Like hell I am. Switching gears in an instant, Yanagashita took off running at full speed. This again. Get back here, you bastard! Norikawa was already in pursuit. Good stuff. He stuck with Yanagashita as far as Koendori before losing track of him. The guy sure knew how to make a getaway. Breathing hard, Norikawa stopped and took a look around the area. As he did, he heard a cell phone ringtone from somewhere nearby. It was the new single from the pop singer Aya Kamiki. Could that be Yanagashita's phone? Huh. Could be. Somehow he struck Norikawa as the type of guy who'd have a ringtone like that. It seemed worth looking into anyhow. He had nothing else to go on. Norikawa shifted his gaze around, trying to locate the source of the sound. The fuck? Suddenly, a massive fiery blast knocked him from his feet. By the time he realized it was an explosion, his senses were already shattered. What just happened? He couldn't see. He couldn't hear. He couldn't move his body. Where am I? For a while, all he could feel was an intense pain, but soon even that faded away. And then there was only darkness. An unexpected explosion. Chasing Yanagashita led Minorikawa to the wrong place at exactly the wrong time. This wouldn't have happened if Yanagashita hadn't run when he did. If the MMA fighter Miku Morita... Oh, we get to meet Miku again? Comes into the knickknack shop, she'll interrupt their argument and things might turn out differently. Huh. So it's someone else's story. We get Miku into the knickknack shop. Interesting. 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 But did I at least clear out someone's... Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the very least, I think I opened up back Achi's and saw a story because... Because Achi, in the Minorikawa line, I didn't run into Achi here. At 5'10". So like here would have been where I like run into or something along those lines. So we got Achi, Asawa, is this story open up too? Did I mean, I guess so. That would have corrected this as well, potentially. I guess we'll find out. Since this is almost done and doesn't show bad ending, I assume that I can keep going. I'm gonna get a drink of water just really quick, and then we got like another 35 minutes or so of stream. So give me like a minute or two. Get some water. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can finish out his hour here. Sad strumming guitar again. Is something wrong, Mr. Asawa? Kajiwara was leaning in, looking concerned. Asawa came back into the moment with a start and realized he had buried his face in his hands. No, he muttered, looking up. Just getting angry, yelling at people. I'm not good with that sort of thing. I don't like it. He picked up the music player and fidgeted with the earbuds as he spoke. Well, getting angry and yelling at people? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's just human. It's human? To do those kinds of things? I often said that he was cold and mechanical. Her sarcasm only underlined a fact he'd always lived with, that he didn't know how to conduct himself like a human being. If you get angry, you show it, Kajiwara said. If you get sad, you show it. It's human nature to let other people know how you're feeling after all. But what if doing that hurts the other person? That's when you apologize, sir. I mean, is something changing? Because it occurred to us all that he'd never tried to tell anyone how he felt before. He never felt the need to. And yet, right now, he suddenly felt that if his daughters were to appear before him, he might blurt out everything he'd ever left unsaid. It was a terrifying thought. Darling? I opened the door and stepped into the room. The detectives are asking for you. It seems there's been a development. We'll be right there. Sawa and Kajiwara hurried out to the room. If this doesn't change, if this gives me the same... keep out. Okay, so it did slightly change. We get an official keep out. So... they're not dead. Like, we got the bad ending last time, so it did take. I was about to say, this game can't start being weird and take away the bad ending and then not give me the different thing all of a sudden. So we're at 2 keep outs. A bad ending here from Norikawa and Maria untouched story. Achi also seems clear, so we might as well go before we break the seal on Maria. Let's continue with Achi. We're running to the surveillance room of his dad's electronics shop. Achi didn't slow his pace until they were nearing their destination. He turned to look back at Hitomi. It's only a little bit further now. Did you want to walk? I'll be alright. Achi, look out! Looking ahead again, Achi saw that they were bearing down on a young grade school girl. Her head hung in dismay. Achi... yeah, let's scoop her up. Is that Hana? Achi hurriedly caught the girl up in his arms. The maneuver kept her out of the harm's way. The momentum swung her high into the air. She dropped a sheaf of papers she was carrying. As luck would have it, the papers fell amidst the trash scattered alongside the road. Whoops, sorry. Achi stopped to gather up the sheets of paper, noting that each was adorned with some sort of writing. Here. Looks like they got kind of messed up, though. The pages had landed in some kind of spilled liquid. Most of them had gotten stained. It's alright, the girl said gloomily. You should just throw them away. It's not like I can sell them now, anyway. You're not going to sell them? I just added a word there. You're going to sell them? Hitomi asked. We're sorry, do you think you'll be able to redo them? Achi, is there a stationery store around there? Here? Trouble reading here. Yeah, up at the top of Dogenzaka, Achi said. Here. He took a 5,000 yen note from his wallet and offered it to the girl. To buy new paper. I know I can't replace the stuff you wrote, but... The girl eyed the money doubtfully. But, it's fine, go ahead, take it. Thank you very much. What is she doing? The little girl spoke with surprising formality. Then she turned and headed up Dogenzaka. Achi gathered up the trash and tossed it into a garbage bin before he and Hitomi continued on their way. Something's going down with her. Achi led Hitomi to an old, multi-tenant building. They hurried inside and headed up the stairs. Whoa. Behind the reception window on the second floor sat the custodian, sleeping on the job. It's Yukinori Kitajima. His main job is overseeing the monitoring room for the local surveillance cameras, but on the side he also works as a novelist and game scenario writer. Huh. He often sleeps on the job during his free time, but sometimes while he's asleep he gets his writing done. While he's asleep, he gets his writing done? Huh. Just recently, a certain game was released, set in Shibuya, but since he wrote the scenario and emailed it to the game company while he was asleep, he didn't know about it until just the other day. Okay. Hey, wake up, man. Achi gave the window a tap and the man woke with a start. Huh? Achichi! Achichi. Manchichi. Don't scare me like that. That's one she too many. And wow, you sure seem to have a lot of free time on your hands. Yeah, no one's been invited to check today. But that's not so bad, right? I mean, I guess it is the surveillance room, but still. The man let out a big yawn. My dad asked me to come down here and check on the security monitors, actually, Achi said. Sorry to bother you when you're busy, Hitomi asked with a polite bow. Huh? Who are you? You with Achichi? I'm Hitomi Osawa. It's nice to meet you. Oh ho ho! What, you Achichi's girlfriend? Again, too many cheese there, and that's none of your business. Just let me have the key. Hoping his blush wasn't too obvious, Achi mimed unlocking a door. Almost said mimed. You won't answer a simple question? You want me to hand over the key? Yes, I'm his girlfriend, Hitomi said. We just started dating. Look at Achi's face. So I'm sure I'll be seeing more of you, sir. She flashed a winning smile. A winning smile. Oh, well, what a surprise. Never thought Achichi could land a fine lady like yourself. Smug. The surprised custodian held out the key. Fuck you, custodian. Good for you, Achichi. Still one chi too many there. But yeah, dating. Achi gazed into Hitomi's face, even more surprised than the custodian. The key dangled, swaying to and fro like a pendulum between Achi and the man behind the counter. Achi, Hitomi said, nudging him in the side with her elbow. Come on. Oh, right. Snapping out of it, Achi took the key and headed up to the next floor. Achichi, Achichi. I'm sorry, Hitomi said as they entered the monitoring room. For just saying we were dating like that, I mean. It was a pretty clumsy lie. His fucking face. No. It was just kind of sudden, is all. I was just a bit Jittery, I guess. Achi felt his cheeks color again. I mean, I figured I had to say something or he wasn't going to cooperate, Tomi said. She looked a little embarrassed herself. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make things weird. No, Achi said. Nah, it wasn't weird at all. Actually, it was kind of... He stopped himself there. Now wasn't the time for that sort of conversation. They needed to find that blue minivan. Achi. The surveillance camera monitoring room was really just a big office with a single computer. Achi knew it well. So this is the monitoring system, he explained. He switched on the computer. What's that boot up sound? You can see all the downtown Shibuya. You can see all of downtown Shibuya from this one computer. Hisomi gazed impatiently at the monitor, even though it wasn't showing anything yet. The look of sheer determination on her face held Achi enthralled. You talk about how attractive your sister is, Achi murmured. But as far as I'm concerned... Oh my god. Oh my god! Right now, you're the lovely one, Hitomi. What an inappropriate time to be talking about this, Achi. I need you to focus. Focus. Hitomi looked at him uncertain. I mean, look at the lengths you're going to and the risk you're taking to save your sister, Achi said. I can't bear the thought that something might happen to her. And the last time we were together, I said such horrible things. Plenty of people do bad things without even realizing they're bad. Never mind trying to fix it. I'm just doing what I think is right. Yeah, but these days, most people don't do the right thing. Heck, if they did, Shibuya wouldn't be covered in trash like it is. Me? I appreciate when someone really cares about the things that are important. This guitar is just so over the top right now. Doing the right thing as a matter of course, that's very attractive. Corny as hell. Achi blushed as he said it, and Tomi shyly looked away. I think the system is ready. Turning to the computer, Achi hastily changed the subject. This thing's so simple, even I know how to use it, because I'm a fucking idiot. Clicking on the mouse, he brought up a row of 4 windows on the monitor. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Each window showed a different view of the Shibuya cityscape. Ooh, a yawn. Okay, the image quality's not great. That's because it's being updated on a 2-second delay, I guess. Achi tapped on the keyboard, bringing up shots of different locations. Yes, 2 frames per second. He clicked on one of them in order to enlarge the image. Maybe we really can find that minivan with this. Tomi was practically glued to the screen. My dad's the one who designed the security system. Your dad must be pretty amazing. Well, he graduated top of his class at Tokyo Denko University. It's a prestigious national university founded over a century ago. Applicants who place highly on the entrance exam can receive full scholarship. Achi's father was one such attendee. The school supported extensive research into artificial intelligence and recently announced an AI program known as Body. While the computer is asleep, different personalities emerge, which have an impact on various normal thought processes, forming a network of more human-like thought patterns as a result. He always said he could have had a career in computer engineering, but he took over the electronics shop so that he could marry my mother instead. That's such a sweet story. Do they run the shop together then? Achi shook his head. No. My mother died when I was 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Tomi sounded even sadder than Achi. Well, anyway, never mind that. Here, look. The seedy-looking weirdo they'd run into at Jigo was on the screen. Huh? That guy again? Said weirdo was running all-out laptop computer under one arm. He was being chased by a man in a long coat. That guy sure gets chased around a lot, huh? Achi said. When the weirdo slipped out of view, Achi switched to another camera. The new view showed the weirdo running again. By hopping from camera to camera, they could track him wherever he went. As long as we have these cameras, Achi said, this guy has nowhere to run. Nowhere to run, huh? The moment he said those words, they struck an odd chord in his mind. He remembered their repeated run-ins with the man with the cane, how the assassin had seemed always to know where to find them. Archie, please, Tommy urged. Stop messing around and let's look for the minivan. Yeah, isn't he on, like, on some kind of, onto something here? If that makes sense? Is he gonna try to track, like, the dude with the cane? That's what I'm thinking. Sorry, there's just something I'm curious about. Archie continued to track the seedy-looking man. The weirdo rushed into a knick-knack shop on Center Guy. Soon after, the man with the coat appeared and followed him into the shop. Aha! Looks like he snatched that guy's computer. He told me just looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? Still, they remained glued to the monitor. Oh, that's me. Tommy took out her cell phone. It's an email from Mr. Tanaka. Ah, okay. Yeah, it was about time for my mood to take a dip, Archie thought. What? Tommy blurted out. She looked up from her phone. Archie, Mr. Tanaka found the minivan. He what? What does he say? Read it to me. Okay. I ran after it, but wound up losing sight of it. It was heading toward Jinan. Jinan? That's what he says. What about your sister? Jump. Not available. Was she inside? He doesn't say. Archie switched over to an array of surveillance cameras near Jinan. I don't know. The few seconds the transition took felt agonizingly slow. Finally, 4 new images popped up. Archie quickly enlarged one of them. The face! Ah! Tommy let out a tiny gasp. It's a van! There on the monitor was the blue minivan. There was no doubt about it. No doubt about it, they're gonna shout it. Archie and Tommy rushed from the building, speeding toward Jinan in an all-out run. Run, Archie, run, Tommy, run! Other guy who's looking for Miku. Other guy looking for Miku. Where's Minorikawa looking for Miku? Neither spoke. They simply dashed along in silence. Archie felt as if they'd been running a marathon, and the finish line had finally come into view. They hooked a left at the station and darted past the Cebu department store. Aha! Archie pointed as he came to a stop. That was a weird way of me saying that. The blue minivan was still there, parked by the curb along the slight hilly incline. Leaving Archie behind, Tommy started rushing up the hill. Uh-oh. Alarm bells started going off in Archie's mind. Someone from the kidnapping crew was in that van. It was dangerous to approach carelessly. Hitomi, wait! Archie shouted. But she didn't appear to hear his cries. The hope of rescuing her sister had driven all else from her mind. She's gonna get blown up or snatched up or... Archie started to run after her. Hitomi had reached the vehicle already. She brought her face close to one of its windows. Oh, Jesus. But the tinted glass obscured the view inside. Hitomi circled around to the minivan's other side. Archie saw her grasping at the door. It's gonna blow up. It's gonna do a live boom, isn't it? She slipped out of his view for just a moment. Video. Whoa! Whoa! Bruh. There was a thunderous explosion, and a gout of flame tore the roof off the minivan like it was made of aluminum foil. Hitomi. Horrified, Archie charged through rolling smoke, searching for Hitomi. he saw 2 fingers sprawled on the street. Figures, not fingers. Oh, Jesus. Figures. Several meters from the van. Hitomi and Kanan. Oh, it's Kanan. Damn. Hitomi, wake up! Achi cradled her in his arms, and her eyes drifted open faintly. Are you okay? Are you hurt? Hitomi didn't appear to understand him. Her only response was a blank, dazed look. There was a small patch of red on her face. Achi wiped it gently away with a finger. He saw no further signs of bleeding. She must have been splattered by someone else's blood then. As far as he could tell, she hadn't been gravely injured. Achi let out a sigh of relief. Hitomi, is she alright? Kanan stirred on the ground. Her clothes were scorched in places and she was bleeding from her head. Kanan, did you save her? Is she alright? Yeah, what about her sister? Kanan didn't respond. No, it can't be. Achi went to look inside the van. Amidst the smoke and the flames, he could make out the outline of a body. What happened here? Achi had to look away. Get Hitomi out of here. Hurry. If those guys show back up... Kanan's face twisted up with pain. Alright. Achi settled Hitomi carefully in his arms. Wait, I need to tell you something. Kanan's pained gasp called him back. Alfred. Alfard? Alfardy. Huh? Appropriate. Alfred. That's the name of the mastermind. I'm sure it'll come up again if you keep pursuing this. But if you value your life, don't get involved with Alfred any further. Now go. Okay, and thanks. You better not tell me that Kanan dies here. You can't introduce a super interesting character and then just have her die. Please, game. Please, please, please. With Hitomi in his arms, Achi hurried from the scene. He wasn't sure where he was heading. He's on the road to nowhere. He just wanted to get away, wherever that meant. Look at that face of determination. He carried her past the crowd of onlookers that had swiftly begun to assemble. The flames of the burning van rose ever higher, roaring up toward the heavens. Yo! Storyline on the hour ended. The van blowing up. We get a nice little video there. FMV. The van just weirdly blowing up into the air. It's great. So great, in fact, that that's probably a good place to end for the night. I always give time frames of how long we're gonna play, but because it's like this is like a chapter-stick type game with different storylines and stuff, like I have to kind of call it at a good point that I feel like story-wise is a good place to like end for a night. Because if I can help it, for both my sake of playing, for the sake of viewers, for the sake of the archive, I just feel better as like a product. Ending at more appropriate times, and that seems like a really good time. Achi finished his hour. We're left in limbo about a couple characters. Maria untouched for the hour, so we'll probably get to that next time. Speaking of the archive really quick, I had this thought at work today where now that I've been doing for the past several weeks here, I've had like the new upgraded mic situation. I've had the very slightly better like video quality on the archive now. I was thinking about like how it's driving me slightly insane that now like past streams, like older series, especially like the first older series on the channel, like in the archive, if you go way back, like when I first started, like did the soft reboot of the channel and everything, and what the YouTube ended up being and stuff. It bugs me now that I have older series that are now technically of really bad quality. Like if you go back to like some of the first couple of series on there, and it sucks because some of the first series that I was doing on the channel were like my playthrough of Kingdom Hearts games, which is my favorite game series, and like the quality when you go back to are so bad, both audio and video, kind of. Mostly audio though is the main thing that bugs me. It just sucks that now like it's driving me slightly bonkers that like, man, now you go back, like it's such a weird thing for me to fixate on, but it is like this thing where I'm like, I mean, who knows, maybe give it years and years and maybe I'll go back and revisit those games and then it's in the improved quality and everything. Maybe that's just the nature of what might end up happening. So yeah, it's upset for some reason. The point I'm trying to make is that it's just a weird thing for my brain to fixate on, that I'm like, now that I have slightly better audio quality, slightly better video quality and stuff, that like it only helps going forward. And like all those old series, while I still think some of them are really high quality, like I was thinking about just my older series in general so far for the channel for these past, what has it been now, I guess a little over 2 years maybe since I've done, maybe like a little over a year since I've been doing it like really more frequently, like streaming a lot more frequently. But I guess a little over 2 years now that I've did since the restart of the channel and everything. But yeah, there's some top tier series still on the channel that like now I'm upset that those are trapped behind like bad quality. Like still to this day, I think my Bloodborne series was super fun. I look back at that still very fondly. Like I said, the Kingdom Hearts ones, they're great, albeit at very low quality, just because those were my first things I was doing, so I obviously didn't have a ton of experience and stuff. So if you go back to like especially like the first Kingdom Hearts game on there, it's laughably bad how bad the audio is at some points, because I was still learning and testing the waters on like streaming and audio quality and everything, and what the best options I had at the time were with what the systems I had running. And also Kingdom Hearts didn't have like an in-game, even in the remake, the first Kingdom Hearts game doesn't have like a in-game audio configurations. So there were times when like the music's blaring and you just can't hear me at all. Like especially like I think I just checked out like the finale, and like you just like the music swells and like you couldn't hear me at all. It's actually laughably bad, but who knows? Maybe one day, maybe I'll go back. I remember going through the series and being like, nope, this is gonna be the last time I ever play these games, my favorite series ever again. These really old Kingdom Hearts games, but who fucking knows? Maybe someday I will get to replaying them and get much better quality and everything. Just a random thought I had to end the stream since I was ending a bit just slightly earlier than I originally planned. But yeah, just a thought. This was a good stream though. This was nice, especially after, like I said, a long Monday I had. So yeah, plan going forward for the week in advance here. Tuesday, probably same time, and same time, probably about, go for the same amount of time. We'll do this 428 stream again. Like I said, we'll probably see Maria, what she's up to this hour. Very mysterious. Achi's finished, but we got these other guys, knuckleheads, stories to go through. Wednesday, almost for sure, no stream. Probably that'll be my day off for the week. I've got plans throughout the night, that night. probably earlier, and I don't know when it ends, but it has a chance of going later, and I'll just, you know, I'll use Wednesday to catch a bit up on the archive too and everything, so that then that'll be done for Wednesday. And then, like I said, Thursday, Friday, again, 428 streams, I assume, because we could just hit it, and maybe we can finish this game before June 19th. Saturday, holding myself to it, actually will finish, and actually will play, hopefully finish Platinum, Destroy Humans 2, finally just get that out of the way. That'll be Saturday morning. I don't know if there will be a Saturday afternoon / night stream then. Kind of depends on how that morning one goes. And then Sunday, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if I'm going to do a birthday stream. I don't know if I'm going to be busy. I don't know what the hell is going on. So we'll play by ear, or even what I'll feel like wanting to do. So yeah. Good shit. Good Monday stream. I will be back here, same time, starting tomorrow. It's 9 Central, around-ish. I started a little earlier today, but that was because I had the PS5 thing I just wanted to talk about for a bit there, but yeah. Tomorrow, same time, for around the same amount of time, length of time, I should say, and until then, enjoy the rest of your Monday night. Take it easy. And stay hydrated.